Hello to all astrology lovers. Today we are discussing the upcoming new moon in the zodiac sign of Scorpio. It will take place on November 1st at 1446. Our time in 9 to 10 degrees of the sign. In general, before we examine the features of this full moon, let's discuss what this astrological event is and how it manifests in our lives. Firstly, the new moon is an astrological event when the moon and the sun align in the same zodiac sign, appearing at the same point in the sky from the perspective of an observer on Earth. At this moment, the moon is positioned between the Earth and the sun. Its illuminated side is not visible, and it appears to be disappearing. The new moon always opens. The new cycle lasts 29.5 days, and in general, the new moon activates energies in our lives that are related to the beginning of everything new. This means it is a time for launches, planning, and manifesting our desires and intentions. The energies of the new moon are considered the beginning and symbol of new beginnings, new desires, and plans. It is like a blank slate. This is a time when we can make any wishes and build plans. Moreover, the new moon strongly focuses us on our intuition. It creates a deep inner focus because it is during the new moon that the sun and moon align, which is an aspect that always brings us events. But, in addition, I call it a kind of bridge when our consciousness connects with our subconscious. We are receiving a completely new volume of information that will manifest for us in the next period, which will mark a specific new moon. Naturally, the characteristics of the new moon's manifestation and its energy depend on the specific sign in which it occurs, as well as in which house of the horoscope this astrological event is realized. Here we can already look at our individual natal charts and understand which area of life the new moon will specifically activate in the next 5 to 6 months. In addition, I believe that the new moon is essentially a monthly reset of our lives when we can start something anew, restart something, or basically launch or begin from scratch. And it is important to consider that the moon is a manifestation of our psyche, our subconscious. Therefore, it is very important here. During this period, pay attention to your inner voice. And now let's consider the specific features of this new moon. It occurs in the zodiac sign of Scorpio. What does this mean for each of us? The new moon in Scorpio is a time that will be filled with very deep transformations and profound emotional renewals leading to our rebirth. Symbolically, this is the 8th house, the house of Scorpio, which represents personal changes and transformation. In astrology, it is primarily associated with spirituality, themes of death and rebirth, and personal changes. Additionally, the 8th house relates to resources, intimate relationships, closeness, and esotericism. For those for whom it is relevant, the 8th house also opens up certain opportunities. That is, this is the house of trust, the house where we encounter very deep psychological and emotional processes that always lead us to personal transformation. It is important to note that this new moon in Scorpio opens a period for us until May 12, 2025. The growing moon is active until November 15, 2024, and we have 2 weeks to manifest our intentions, plan something new, launch something, set new goals and tasks, and we are already looking specifically at which area of the horoscope this event will take place for each of you. And now let's take a closer look at what energies this new moon in Scorpio activates, what themes it raises, and what life situations it can generally create. First of all, I would like to remind you that this is a theme of transformation and rebirth. It is a process of destroying the old in order to make way for the creation of the new. And here, this new moon can renew perspectives and let go of what no longer serves us. This is about courage, about the depth of emotions, about sensuality, about intuition. These are all the energies of Scorpio that we will bring to the surface during the action of this new moon. And the main themes that will be activated are, of course, personal emotional boundaries, especially in relationships. This is a topic about working with the shadow side of our personality here, about internal fears, hidden motives, and some concealed emotions. It is during this new moon that we have the opportunity to rid ourselves of toxic connections and relationships, restore the balance of important, meaningful relationships, or renew them. In addition, the theme of control and ownership of resources will come to the forefront here. The topic of finances, shared resources, the topic of debt obligations, the topic of financial stability, security. For many of us, this new moon will encourage a reevaluation of these directions in our lives. When it comes to possible life situations, there are scenarios related to relationships and the expression of emotions within those relationships. These are themes of hidden grievances, themes of unresolved issues with close people in relationships. This is a very suitable period for sincere conversations, either about the topic of separation or about the renewal of relationships. It is very good to reassess your financial approach to life here. It is very good to engage in personal projects, career. The 8th house also corresponds to entrepreneurship and investments. Therefore, it is a good period, especially for launching these themes of life. And the new moon in Scorpio occurs at 9 to 10 degrees. Of course, there is also a certain symbolism here, the symbolism of deep personal transformation. Here, what will be important for us is the revelation of the hidden aspects of our soul and our striving to understand the mysteries of life. Speaking of the symbolism of degrees, according to the Sabian symbols, the 9th degree of Scorpio demonstrates to us a picture of how a dentist works, a picture that emphasizes the importance of removing what may disrupt our inner or outer harmony. That is, this is the degree of liberation from discomfort, from painful situations and habits that hinder our spiritual or emotional growth. It symbolizes purification and the opportunity to strengthen one's personal core. Speaking of the 10th degree of Scorpio, this degree indeed shows us a symbol depicting deep sea divers who are collecting pearls. That is, the emphasis here is already on diving into one's subconscious to search for the pearl of wisdom that is hidden beneath the surface. In other words, this symbol inspires us to explore the depths of our psyche and to be ready for risk, for the sake of a valuable outcome and achieving awareness through inner exploration. If we summarize the energy of the new moon in these degrees of Scorpio, we can understand that the focus is on attaining entirely new levels of understanding through emotional and spiritual cleansing, through the search for valuable experiences deep within one's subconscious. Yes, this period is very much synchronized with the 8th house, and this cycle encourages us to free ourselves from some old discomfort and from some pains, some fears, resentments. This is a period when we can intuitively discover some of our hidden talents and inner gifts that were previously inaccessible to us and apply them to renew ourselves and move forward in life. And if we talk about the ruler of this new moon, this time there are two, the planet Pluto and the co-ruler, the planet Mars. This creates a very interesting turn for this new moon because at the moment of the exact conjunction of the moon and the sun, these two planets are in opposition. Pluto has been direct since October, but it is still in Capricorn, while Mars is located in the zodiac sign of Cancer and is also in the last degrees, just like Pluto. Be sure to pay attention to which houses of the horoscope these two planets are located in for you. It is important to note that if these planets do not create an opposition in your personal chart, do not attribute that aspect to yourself. So, to begin with, what does Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn signify for us? Here, it symbolizes the 29 to 30 degrees of Capricorn, representing the culmination of a very long cycle of deep transformations in the structures and foundations of our lives. Pluto in the final degrees of Capricorn carries a very powerful energy of completion and transformation, especially regarding issues of power and control. This concerns stable systems, both in society and in the personal lives of each of us. This degree is associated with the farewell to outdated structures and views that require a very strong, radical renewal. Here we experience a kind of removal of such old forms, creating space for a new approach to life and for transformation. Pluto in this position intensifies the energy of the new moon, focusing our attention on the necessity of implementing these deep changes, particularly regarding issues of responsibility, discipline, and social roles. And of course, a very wise and sober approach to these changes is needed here. Speaking of the second co-ruler, Mars, which it is also located at 29 to 30 degrees of the zodiac sign Cancer, where the focus is on very strong emotional drives and the culmination of our internal conflicts related to themes of safety, family, relationships, and emotional attachments. Here, Mars in Cancer completes a cycle related to the protection of personal boundaries and the need to safeguard oneself and loved ones. This is, of course, accompanied by a strong sense of vulnerability and emotional tension. These degrees enhance the determination to protect one's values and emotional boundaries, but they also require letting go of outdated forms of dependency or excessive caution in our lives. Mars in this position emphasizes the importance of finding a balance between actively defending one's boundaries and values and considering the needs of those around us, especially in the context of family and close relationships. Considering that this is an opposition, it is the opposition of the two rulers of this new moon. And of course, the aspect creates a very powerful such energies of tension between the desire for control and stability and our emotional needs, our protective reactions. That is, it is an aspect of such deep internal and external struggle where each of us has to face a conflicting situation related to duty and emotional attachment between social demands and personal needs. The energy of opposition activates hidden fears and compels us to address issues of power and control. And this can manifest in work, in relationships, in family, in marriage, and in business relationships, absolutely in any sphere. Of course, the opposition activates the main such. The themes of control, vulnerability, and very intense emotions and tension will arise. And when it comes to situations, conflicts in relationships will emerge, especially related to family and work, where completely different needs and expectations collide, such as professional ambitions and the need to maintain some emotional connection with loved ones. There will be situations related to testing endurance and maturity, creating opportunities for transforming personal boundaries. The opposition will prompt each of us to reassess our personal boundaries in relationships, and it is important to prioritize our own needs without compromising ourselves for external obligations, debts, or circumstances. Now let's consider the aspects that are at play during this new moon in Scorpio. Of course, they will complement the opposition of Pluto and Mars. Another opposition is the aspect between the two academic nodes. This is the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, 6 to 7 degrees. And of course, this aspect emphasizes the energetic transition from seeking harmony and dependence on the opinions of others to the theme of self-assertion and initiative. The aspect creates conditions where we are forced to seek a balance between comfort and the necessity to act independently, following our own desires and goals. The South Node in Libra symbolizes for us past habits, past behavior patterns associated with yielding, a desire for compromise, and a focus on partnership. The North Node in Aries requires the development of individuality, confidence, and decisiveness. The main themes of this aspect are, of course, dependence and independence, the theme of initiative and personal power. Possible situations that will arise for each of us include, of course, various challenges in relationships, the theme of career and personal growth through active actions related to the North Node in Aries, and the theme of achieving inner balance when we need to overcome some dependency on others' opinions. The ideas of this desire to be good for everyone and our personal need for self-expression in Aries come at a time when we strive to put ourselves first. It is also worth paying attention to two oppositions: the opposition of Venus in Sagittarius and retrograde Jupiter in Gemini, as well as Mercury in Scorpio and retrograde Uranus in Taurus. The Venus-Jupiter aspect gives us energetic tension between our thirst for freedom in relationships and our philosophical views, along with the theme of revising beliefs that can be either very superficial or unreliable. Here, retrograde Jupiter is at work. Venus in Sagittarius strives for a broad outlook, openness, and inspiration. And this can manifest in the search for different experiences and romantic opportunities. Retrograde Jupiter here emphasizes the necessity to return to the roots, to explore the roots of a situation or problem, to examine the details, and to rethink existing views or approaches. And of course, the aspect gives us conflict, an internal conflict, especially in the areas of love and finances. And here, of course, there may be impulsiveness, a certain lightness due to Venus, but retrograde Jupiter, of course, brings us back to reevaluating personal values and priorities. And another aspect is Mercury and retrograde Uranus. Here, there is a clash between profoundly intense, deep thinking and contemplation related to Mercury and the desire for a breakthrough and unconventional thinking. And since Mercury is in Scorpio, it tends to be very detail-oriented in its analysis, almost like in Virgo, but even deeper, based on an intuitive perception. And here, a very strong desire to uncover some hidden true motives manifests, especially in situations that are very superficial. Retrograde Uranus in Taurus is certainly pulling us towards super radical changes through some unexpected insights, and these themes may relate to our material stability and established habits. This is because Uranus in Taurus creates opposition leading to sudden insights or situations where information surfaces very unexpectedly, prompting us to reconsider old beliefs or previously made decisions. This all manifests in communications and conflicts related to Mercury, and, of course, it is important to be very flexible and ready to accept these changes here and now in order to make completely new decisions. However, at the time of the new moon in Scorpio, harmonious aspects are also at play. The most important of these are the trines. The trine directly regarding Mercury and Mars. They are organizing a large trine in the sky, a big triangle that provides a very powerful combination of energies activating our intuition and fostering deep emotional interactions among those around us. I would like to remind you that retrograde Neptune in Pisces directs our attention to the theme of the inner world, intuition, and creative self-expression, as well as our feelings and ideals. Mercury in Scorpio enhances our analytical abilities, allowing us to penetrate the essence of things and find hidden meanings in any communication, while Mars in Cancer emphasizes the theme of protecting our values, emotions, and boundaries. This combination of energies contributes to the formation of situations where intuition and empathy become very important tools in all types of relationships. Additionally, creative solutions to problems related to our emotions can be found here, and inspiration in art and various forms of creativity can manifest strongly. Conflicts can also be resolved by using these energies very gently. Furthermore, we continue to work with the three without their style, which we discussed earlier in other videos. They provide us with very powerful supportive energies to help us navigate these transformations more easily. It is also important to note that the Sun, at the time of the new moon, representing our consciousness, is in a trine with the planet of karma, retrograde Saturn, in Pisces. And the trine gives us a very harmonious connection between our personal transformations, changes, and discipline, according to Saturn. The Sun in Scorpio will guide us towards self-discovery, our emotional experiences, and the desire for transformation. Retrograde Saturn will bring focus to rethinking one's duties, responsibilities, and boundaries, as well as analyzing past experiences to find completely new, mature approaches to goals and life situations. Therefore, the trine is very favorable. The supportive aspect gives us an activation of personal power, but with a structural support from Saturn, and the Moon is also in this aspect in relation to Saturn. However, here the influence occurs at the level of the subconscious, at the level of our psyche. So the energies of this aspect can be very well used to our advantage. Now, let's consider the new moon in Scorpio separately for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Dear Pisces, the new moon in Scorpio is in your 9th house of the horoscope. This is the house of a person's luck. And here, of course, a completely new period of very strong personal transformations opens up for you, because Scorpio primarily brings us changes of a personal nature. And they will, of course, reflect very deeply on you, specifically on your worldview, life philosophy, your beliefs, and attitudes. This all relates to the 9th house of the horoscope. Here, a strong impulse opens up to expand one's worldview and understanding of the world. The energies of Scorpio will give this process intensity and depth, which will open up completely new horizons for you in terms of education, travel, and international contacts. This is all our 9th house. And, of course, The new moon will create situations for you where international educational opportunities, new courses, research, and programs will open up. There will be spiritual searches happening here, of course, because the 9th house is all about that. There will be distant travels and adventures that will allow you to explore new opportunities and broaden your horizons. Reflections on the meaning of life are naturally associated with the 9th house. There are changes in beliefs and a lot of interaction with foreigners. And there will, of course, be emotional experiences because Scorpio is all about emotions, deep emotions, and transformation. And in order to work through the energies of this new moon, be sure to engage in written practices. Free your mind from various thoughts that hinder you from moving forward and expanding your worldview. Read, explore, inform yourself, and definitely take advantage of educational opportunities. It's good if they are of an international nature. Everything that provides an opportunity to learn about another country, different cultures, and philosophies should be utilized. Additionally, make sure to practice meditation related to the 9th house, as this also contributes to spiritual growth. Plan long-distance travels and be ready for changes. Keep in mind that the rulers of this new moon are in opposition to Pluto and Mars, affecting your 11th and 5th houses. The 11th house relates to ideals, dreams, and our future, while the 5th house pertains to joy, pleasure, and self-expression. Conflicts may arise here with friends, like-minded individuals, and generally with your social circle, which may not understand you because you have one set of needs while the people around you have completely different needs. This can lead to conflictual situations. There will be changes in your social circles, and there will be some conflict situations related to your self-expression and creative manifestation. And it is precisely these energies that will help you find a completely new path, a creative path for your realization. There will be a strong activation of the desire for freedom here. Additionally, romantic relationships, your interactions with your children, and matters related to the 5th house of the horoscope will come to the forefront. And, of course, there will be changes. In any case, I wish you success. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Bye-bye.